So I have some track camera footage here. It's looking pretty good, and I'm doing my VFX workflow. So I want to put a mesh in the scene, a cube, because it's making a movie called Attack the Cubes. And so what I want to do is I want this cube to cast a shadow. So if I move it over here, scale it by 3 or 4, like so. Let's consider selected, grab a plane, scale it up underneath it. So how can I go about doing that? So if I grab a sunlight like so and rotate it, there we go, and then I just boost the exposure a bit, then it's got a shadow on it. So in cycles, what I can do is I can click on the plane, I can go to the tab here, the object tab, and I can click shadow catcher, and what that does is makes the plane invisible except for the shadow, which lets me composite this cube onto this footage like this, and I can go in and I can sort of subdivide the plane a couple of times, and I can kind of manipulate this plane to be a bit more accurate to the topology of the land, and that affects the shadow a bit, but that's the basic way of doing a shadow capture. Now, the thing is there such a thing as a reflection capture, right? So say I have a pirate ship for my Pirates of the Caribbean fan film I'm making for some reason. On the lake here, I really want, the nice reflections. We've got nice reflections of these mountains. It's a pretty nice lake. I think it's in New Zealand. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. So how do I do that? So there's no such thing as a reflection capture in Cycles, sadly. But in Blender 5.1, there's a new node that's been released, or an updated one, I guess, because technically it always existed. That is called Raycast. So what Raycast lets us do is it lets us do a hit test for objects or things. Now, I can limit its distance of that hit check. I can also say only check if you hit yourself instead of other objects. That's about it. Now, by default, the raycast points upwards, which is rather simple, but we can specify the direction it points, and so we're going to use that. So in my scene here, I'm just going to append, I have a little pirate ship here. Right, it's not really little. I'll be honest, I don't know how big a pirate ship is supposed to be. And someone I'm sure will tell me this isn't a pirate ship. But so I have this ship that I want to be in the water there, but how do I make a reflection capture, and what does the raycast node have to do with that? So if I make a plane here and I scale it up nice and big, like so, there we go. Now if I go over to the shading tab like so, and I make a mirror material, let's drop the roughness down to nothing and the metallic. Okay. So now I have my reflection here, which is somewhat useful. However, it's reflecting the skylight, the HDRI in the scene. I don't want that. I want the ocean. So I could sit here and tweak values and stuff to try and make it blend in, or I could, do something with compositing in Nuke or in Fusion to try and erase it, but there's a better way with the Raycast now. So if I grab the Raycast node like so, if I plug the hit test in, obviously by default we're going to get the hit test of the pirate ship or this ship itself. But that's not what I want. We're also getting the shadow catcher here, so I'm just going to... Oh, I don't want to delete the sun. I'm going to delete those two so we don't get it. So what I want to do is I want to grab a geometry, and I'm going to use the incoming. So the incoming is the direction... Alrighty. I made a slight error, so I'm just going to correct it. I got them around the wrong way. So incoming is the vector going from the shading point or the surface of the object towards the camera. And then if we use a scale in the vector math and set it to -1, then we get the vector of the camera going towards the object, which is what we want and what we'll be using for the rest of the tutorial. And what this does is basically shows us everything underneath or on the opposite side of the plane, which is what we want. So next, what I'm going to do is in the vector math, we also have a reflect. Here we go. And so this takes two vectors and basically So if I give it the camera's angle, right, so the angle of the camera going to the plane, as well as the plane's normals, which in this case just point Z up directly, then we can calculate the opposite angle for the reflection. So plug that in there, and then plug the normal in here, and boom. You now have the reflection of the object. So basically we're taking the shading point, calculating its reflection off the surface, and then whether it hits the ship or not, which, you know, works at every angle, looks fantastic. Now, it's a black and white mask. That means we can just plug it into an alpha. Ta-da! This gives us a perfect reflection mask. No, I don't want to join areas, I want to split them. So if I was to go to our timeline, like so, I can sort of go back and forward, and this gives us a perfect reflection mask, which works amazingly and exactly like our shadow mask. Now, there's a few things we want to, or we may want to improve. Number one is this water is ripply, right? It's not perfect. Well, sorry, perfectly glass-like. So let's add some ripples in. So we'll grab a noise shader, or noise texture, I should say, like so. I'm going to switch it to 2D. I'm also going to grab a UV node, a UV map node there, and a mapping node here. And someone's going to tell me to use Node Wrangler because there's some magical hotkey to add all of that at once. So the noise texture just creates a FBM noise. And so if I increase the scale a little bit, and then what I'm going to use the mapping node for here is just if I put 5 there, it lets me squish the noise down a little bit so I can kind of create ripples as opposed to just cloudy noise. So what I'm then going to do is a bump map, which basically converts a black and white height map into a normal map, which is exactly what we have here. Plug it into the normal, plug it in here. And so what we get, and especially if I turn up the scale a little more, is ripples. Look at that, the reflection's kind of rippled. Now, if I plug the hit back into the alpha, we get a problem. It looks trash. The problem here is, even though, you know, we're rippling the surface and it looks really nice, the hit is being run on a perfectly smooth plane without those ripples. Luckily, there's a really easy way to fix that. Basically, and here, I'll plug that there. Instead of using the object's geometry normals, we're going to use its new bump map normal. So the bump map is the object's normal and this offset with the height, which gives us this. So if I plug that into the alpha, plug the principal BSDF in, now we have a perfect mask that matches our ripples. So there's probably one more thing you might want to do, and that is roughness, right? So you might be tempted, let me do that. Doesn't quite work like that, I'm afraid. So we need to kind of think, what is roughness, right? So roughness is a simulation of microfacets, which is basically random bumps on a surface, right? My mouse pad and my t-shirt are really bumpy with sort of random pattern. So specular light and reflections, as light bounces it gets scattered off into lots of different directions. So we can do that quite easily with a bump node. We just need to do that with a bump node and feed it into the Raycast instead of doing it with roughness. So basically, if I increase the detail, and here, look, I'll put the factor in here just so you can see what's happening. So let's increase the detail, which is sort of how much noise it processes, or how many levels of noise. And then the roughness basically goes between low detail and really high detail noise like this. You can see this really tiny little noises that are sort of infinitesimally small. Now, if I plug the principal BSD back in, you'll see we have the same effect. We have a rough surface without actually having a rough surface. As I reduce the detail, like so. Now, the benefit of this is it also works in the hit test because we're feeding this normal to the Raycast. So you can use that to create our perfect mask still and plug it into the BSDF, and so we kind of get this effect. Now, you may want to change the scale or something to make it a little better, but for the most part, I think that's pretty good. So just like that, we have a nice reflection. The other thing is, because this is a separate object, we can also do things like Cryptomatte on it. So I've got Cryptomatte and object ticket here. So if I go ahead and go to the compositing tab, basically I can grab that one, I guess. There we go. So it's its own object that I can choose in Cryptomatte, which I've done, which lets us separate it out so we could kind of manually tweak, say, just the reflection. 0.5. You know, if we wanted to blur it, and you could do this in Blender, you could do this in Fusion or Nuke or whatever your preferred software is, but there you go. So, really cool stuff. You know, not a, you know, we've been using this, or we've been doing a lot of sort of scenic pre-comped elements. Stadium series, for example, we did this really cool one with some squid tentacles and stuff coming out of the bay in Tampa Bay. You know, it was all done in Blender very quickly. So this is kind of like a nice, quick, easy way to process this, or sort of process these reflections in Blender so you don't have to do it in a compositing engine later. And it works out really powerful. Oop, there we go. So, I know Blender tutorials aren't hugely popular on my channel, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this, found it interesting. I just thought, you know, everyone's been making videos about the Raycast node, but not many, no one's highlighted this. So, you know, I posted it to social media, and then I thought I'd post it here as well. So, thank you for watching.